All right, members, we have the quorum on behalf of the IPCC. I'd like to welcome Derek, DMS, Ms. Karen Zhang, CSB, CIIB, and also the other police representatives. Welcome. We have received apology. We have received. We have 4 new members. Stanley, Mr. Dr. Stanley Yim, and Mr. Kevin Chen. And I have received apologies from 2 members, Dr. Jimmy Wong and Mr. Matthew Lam. They've sent in their apologies. I'd like to welcome all of you to this meeting, and a number of members have served out their term on the 31st of May. We registered a vote of thanks for their service. Mr. Chen Kan-wing, Clement, Mr. Kwon Wing-chun, Wilson, Mrs. Chen Wong-Lai-kun, and Lisa, and Mr. Roland Wong. On behalf of the IPCC, we'd like to register a vote of thanks for their dedicated hard work in their service for the IPCC. Dr. Jimmy Wong is otherwise engaged. Also, Mr. Wong Ki-hong, Mr. Edmund Lee, Ms. J. Lo, and Dr. Desmond Yun are also otherwise engaged. Thank you. Item number 1, confirmation of minutes of meeting held last time. We have received no proposed amendments. Unless I hear anything to the contrary, shall we take the minutes as read? Thank you. Item number 2, presentation on electronic closed area permit system, CAPO. And there's a presentation by the police. So we invite the police, please. Joe. Madam Chair, members, the police have been harnessing technology to increase the efficiency as the border is opening up. We have introduced the electronic CAP. We have invited Ms. Eric Long, SSB Ops, to brief members on this online application platform. Eric, please. Madam Chair, members, friends of the media, I am Eric Long, SSB OPS. I'm going to spend about 20 minutes to brief you on the digital policing and also the online application platform for the closed area permit. There are 4 parts to my presentation. The first one is the background. Why do we introduce this service? And second, the timetable and the target audience, and also the utilization of the system since its inception. First, I'd like to say a little bit about the policy regarding the closed area and how we use the digital system. Under the POO, we have designated the closed area in the vicinity of the mainland. This covers Sha Chao Kok, Lama Chao, Taguling, Shenzhen Bay, Port, and the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. This covers something like 400 hectares of land. Other than those, people and vehicles, they use designated boundary points for crossing the boundary. Other people, like the residents, the students, people working there, and visitors to these areas, they all need to have the valid closed area permit or the closed road permit before they would be allowed in and out of the closed area. In 2022, as we introduced the tourism in Sha Chao Kok, Sha Chao Kok, other than Chongying Street, is open up for the people with valid documents, including the travel groups and individual visitors. In 2023, we have issued 165,000 CAPs to the eligible people, and under the road traffic registration ordinance, 30,000 permits have been issued to eligible vehicles. Now, previously, this is how application was made. People had to turn up at the relevant offices in Shangshui Police Station, Shenzhen Bay, Hong Kong Zhuhai Macau Bridge, or the police headquarters. And they will have to turn up at these offices to make the application. Once approved, they will have to turn up or authorize someone to turn up at these places to collect the permits. As they go in and out of the closed areas, they need to carry a paper-based permit for inspection by the duty officers or security staff. In order to enhance the efficiency of the system, in 2022, under the smart regulated system, the audio was, we sought application to the audio for the entire system to be digitalized. Under this system, we support the development of the Northern Metropolis and tie in with opening up of the Shantou Kok area. Individual visitors or group visitors will be able to use this online digital application platform to make the applications, facilitate people to travel there to Shantou Kok. There are 3 stages of implementation. Now, for the first 2 stages, they happened in December 2023 and also March 2024. We cover the visitor to Shantou Kok and government officials who need to travel to the area, and also students, as well as some various organizations and the media. The 3rd stage came about just last week to cover all the residents and also visitors to the closed areas. We have fully implemented the digitalization of the closed area permit system. There are 4 E's as part of our purpose. First, e-application. The applicant can take advantage of the I Am Smart to register a new system, to log into the system, to fill out the form and make application for various forms of the closed area permits. And the entire application will be free of charge. And to tie in with the opening up of the Shantou Kok area under a quota system, people making the application can also browse the system to look at the quota situation. If the quota is filled and they cannot submit the application, they are free to amend the date of travel without having to fill in the form all over again. They do not have to turn up at the offices physically either. If necessary, the members of the public can store the unfinished application form for as long as 7 days. And the system will also keep the previous applications to facilitate checking. Second, e-follow-up. The applicant can also communicate with our staff online for clarification of the information submitted, or to submit supplementary information. The applicant can follow up their applications anytime they like. Third, e-collection. Upon approval, the system would be emailing or texting the applicants, and they will then be able to log into the system and download the PDF form permit. and this can be downloaded to the mobile devices or other devices. And depending on personal needs, they can also print the permit of the system. It is so convenient and user-friendly. Fourth, e-inspection. Earlier, we said that the police officers or security staff at the border will, depending on the situation, ask to see the permit. And with this e-system, the members of the public can show the mobile devices, and that there is a QR code for them to verify the status. And this will enhance the efficiency of inspection and also the accuracy, and that will also save quite a bit of time for access into the closed areas. If the members of the public experience any difficulties, they're welcome to call through the 24-hour hotline, or they can also make inquiries at the offices during office hours. I'm going to play a 2-minute clip showing you one of the examples of online applications.
旅遊證，再解說旅遊禁區旅遊證個人表格。你可以隨時參考申請程序嘅教學，準備好所需文件，喺出發前最少3個工作天提交申請。你亦可以喺日曆睇到未來1個月申請剩餘配額。如果你想申請嘅日子已經滿額，申請表就不會被接受。再按現在申請，你可以用智方便，又或者填翻已註冊嘅帳戶資料登入，再進行驗證。你可以選擇在線填寫網頁表格，亦可以下載 PDF 表格離線填寫。首先填寫申請人資料及到訪沙頭角嘅時間，之後就填寫遊客資料。除咗可以幫自己申請，亦都可以點擊添加遊客去到同行旅客一齊申請禁區證。一張表格上限12人。如果未能即時完成表格，你可以隨時按保存草稿，系統會幫你儲存表格7日。填好晒所有資料後，你可以揀用短信或者電郵嘅方式去收取日後申請通知，之後上傳翻自己及同行人士嘅身份證明文件，再按預覽。嚟到最後一步，檢查表格資料同文件，確認下面嘅聲明，進行電子簽署，就按提交。咁就成功遞交咗旅遊禁區證嘅申請㗎啦。當申請狀態有更新，系統就會透過你之前揀選嘅方式通知你。你可以隨時登入返網上平台，查看我的申請，檢查申請狀態。揀返相關申請，就可以喺電子跟進嗰一欄下載你嘅禁區證電子檔案。每個遊客都可以預先將 PDF 儲存喺個人電子裝置，又或者用 A4 紙列印電子禁區證。到你去沙頭角玩嘅時候，出示返完整嘅禁區證俾警員檢查就可以啦。
These are the new CAP, closed area permits, and the information carried in the new forms is actually the same as previously. The only difference is on the top right-hand corner of the form there is a QR code. As I said, this is intended to facilitate inspection of the permit.
The number of the inspector can just scan the QR code to check the information. It will enhance the efficiency of the investigation and also facilitate the in and out of the closed area. Since the application and implementation of this e-service, 121,000 cases has been handled, and it composed like 74.5% of the total application. We can see the popularity and the utility of this service, and then the effectiveness is really very obvious. Other than this, we also noticed that with this e-service, we have other benefits. First of all, it shortened the application time. According to different permits, in the past, usually it takes 4 to 7 working days to handle the application. But with the implementation of the new system, we can just shorten the working days by 2 to 5. And on the other hand, users find that the electronic forms are quite easy and easy to deliver, and they don't need to turn up to the office in person, and then they are really satisfied with this service. And after the implementation of this new service, we have not received any complaints. And because of its efficiency, and then there are more CAP being issued, and then in the end, the whole popularity of the closed area has been enhanced. The Security Bureau in the social platform also upload some of the experience of the users, and then in general, they all find it very satisfactory. As a whole, the police force will continue to adopt a creative technology to enhance the efficiency, and also in order to upgrade the development of Chateau Coq and the development of the GBA, and then with the demand for more CAP in the pipeline, and I think, and then it is expected over 300,000 CAP will be issued in 2024 to meet the demand of the public, and we will continue to monitor the responses and to improve as time goes on, and to improve operation and also monitoring work, and to tell a good story about Hong Kong. Thank you, Eric. Any questions for Eric? Members? Chair, Madam Chair, and I visited Chateau Coq closed area with other members of the Legislative Council. At that time, we still used a hard copy. The police will check our copy, and then they will let us in. Since then, it is done in that way that there is no record whatsoever, because we just showed our cards. Right now, that the time it took to check is quite short, and they just scan our QR code with their facilities. And is there any system that would have a record on the in and out of the closed area? And because even if we have a certain number of applications, but some actually comes in with the permit and some not, and then some applied many times, but actually did not getting into the closed area. And I think that we need actually to monitor this, because otherwise it will be the wastage of effort. And right now, that I think that with this new service, you can actually check whether that the application, successful application, has been used, how many people in fact get into the closed area with that application. Thank you. Thank you for your question. Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, we have enthusiastically to promote tourism in Chateau Coq. And of course, we are glad to have many applications as possible so that we can support this development. And just now, the question is on whether there is a record on who get into the closed area. At present, of course, we have the police at the border, and then there is security there, and if it's needed, we will ask for the permit to be checked. Of course, that they can show the paper permit and also the e-permit in their mobile devices. And then we only check when it is necessary, and then we only check them. And if we actually check the permit and then find that it is valid, of course we will let them in. And then every time we check, we will have a record. But whether that everyone passing through the checkpoint will be checked, I think that it all depends on the actual situation and then the circumstances. At present, we check on reasonable basis. So we have no information on everyone doing crossing the checkpoint, and we only know it through the application they make online. But on the checkpoint, we don't have that. Well, Yuan Yip, your turn to ask the question. Well, for the online application and then the e-permit, I would say it's really great. And based on this very efficient and convenient method, would you consider, well, with the example that you show, is just for the short-term the visit and then also the in and out of vehicles? But for cross-border vehicles like that, we are holding still the paper permits. So would you extend that to regularly going back and forth through the border, and then to replace the paper permit? And then secondly is for the ordinary vehicles. They might have the two at the driving seats, and then they all of them will need to have permits. But right now it's quite convenient, and if the three who go across the border, that they will show that their paper permit on the screen. And then what will happen if they all do it online? Well, thank you for the question. And the application area is for the closed area. It's not for cross-border individuals and vehicles. And for closed area, we need a CRP. And that is issued according to the national security ordinance and also the traffic ordinance. And for cross-border vehicles, actually it's under the jurisdiction of the transportation department. So there are the two different systems handling the two different kinds of vehicles. Would you share your smart system with the transportation department then? Oh, sure. We will promote it enthusiastically, and then according to our digital policing and then also other development, we hope that other government departments will follow suit. Thank you, Eric. I think that people are really enthusiastic about this and passionate about this. There are questions that followed. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. As you just mentioned, well, individuals might want to go to the closed area, and then under the public security ordinance that they are allowed. And for that the vehicles, that is another ordinance that govern it. And if I get into the closed area by a vehicle, and they will just get off the car and then walk around, will they need to get another kind of permit? Well, because they are really governed by two very different ordinances and with different regulations. And can we explain it more clearly about that kind of differentiation? Well, thank you for your question. For all vehicles getting into the closed area, they need permit, and that applies also to individuals, persons. So if you need to drive these vehicles for tourism, then both the vehicle and the persons in the vehicle need permits. Okay, Mabel, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Eric. I've never visited Chateau Coq. I think that I really need to apply and then to visit it once. It's really convenient. We can apply it online. And of course, that it requires technology, and then people need to input their personal information in the system. I'm confident that well, when you establish this platform, you have all those data protections ensured. But if after all there are concerns of the public, like that there are well, significant reports on the leakages of personal information and things like that. Can you elaborate a little bit on how to safeguard data or personal informations on this platform? Well, first of all, I would like to welcome you to Shuttlecock, and then also welcome you to apply it through this system. And we are really putting a lot of emphasis on protecting individual information. And then other than the internal, our staff who are responsible for it, we also invite a third-party security company and to see and to vet if this actually apply and comply to all the requirements. And then I think that we have actually to make it near to perfect. And what you need to input are necessary under the ordinance. We will not require information not required by the ordinance. And once you log into the system, and well, we have implement I'm Smart system, and then you can use I'm Smart system, or that you can actually build your own account to log into the system. We deeply believe that all these measures will satisfy and the protection of privacy and also the well, confidentiality and information of individuals. Thank you, Eric. I would like to add a little bit. Eric just said it clearly, and before we launch this system, and then we have followed the order provided by the government. Firstly is individual the protection, privacy impact assessment. We need to have a third party to see, to guarantee that the security of this system actually is up to the requirement. The secondly is the system itself. Whether that the system is very vulnerable to hacking, and this again we have invited the third party to do an audit, and then well, finally that is satisfied the requirement. So we have already actually done our duty, and then to have the third party verification. Thank you. I'm Mr. Yeager. First of all, thank you for your introduction. And my question is on something that has not happened yet. Well, there is a limitation, a quota on the daily permits. Well, but if there are a lot of people who applied, but they do not actually go, well, it would affect the people who really want to go. So this is the first question and first scenario. And secondly, well, just like Mabel, they want to go to the Shuttlecock, and then it seems that there are the permits that is on sale. And I don't think that we can do that because it's actually done with the real name and then information. So these are my two questions.
Eric? Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is a very good question. Every day, we do have a quota system for visit to Shuttlecock, 1,300 on weekdays, 600 are reserved for individual visitors, 700 for group visitors. Now, why these numbers. In the light of previous experience, we work on the basis of the number of people visiting this place, and we believe that at this point in time, this quota is appropriate. During festivals, we may see a surge of people, like the Father's Day and the Tomb Festival, Dragon Boat Festival. We have increased the quota to 3,000. Whether it be 1,300 or 3,000, experience shows that the quota has not been filled. The member has got a very good question. We would revisit the size of the quota, whether it is too much, whether it is too big a quota. We will revisit that. As to transfer of the permit, that this is not allowed under the law. The applicant has to carry the permit himself or herself before going in, otherwise it would be against the law. Kevin? Well, my question is similar, but I've got another question. No one can make the application for 12 people. Why do you fix the number at 12? Mr. Chen and Mr. Yik have got a valid question. Now, people may be making an application and secure the spot, and they're not going. Now, I've made an application. Let's say there is a group with 50 people, and the 12, if you make application for 12 and at one time, it may not be good enough. So how do you fix the number? Right, let me add another question here. Now, the 12 people, if I make an application for 12 as a group, do I have to put all the 12 names there, or can I just say 1 plus 11, and then I form a group and go there as a group? Madam Chair, let me address your question first. When you make the application, you have to key in the names of the people. Now, the reason why we need the information is because, as I said, at the boundary point, the officers will carry out the inspection if necessary. They will have to verify whether this is your permit. Now, if this is a permit that doesn't belong to you, then you will be on the wrong side of the law. Second, about the number of applications, 12. Again, we are in support of the travel to Chateau Coq. We'd like to see more people there. We'd like to see families or families going together. We've conducted some studies about the number of people who might be grouping together for the travel. Normally, it would be 10 or a dozen or so. So it is on the basis of this estimate that we pitched the number at 12. Now, what about 24? Well, you can just put in 2 applications in that case. The other question is there may be a large group as part of the group tour. Now, for group tour, we allow the number of 50. The travel agents can apply for 50 people at one time. All right, any further questions? Right. Really enthusiastic response, Mr. Chen. A follow-up question there. I asked about the vehicles under the traffic ordinance. The people will have to register themselves individually. Well, does it mean that we can add the names there while we're making application for the vehicle? If we have to make the application twice, then there may be some omission. That's question number 1. Second, it was said a moment ago that one can apply for 12 people. And what if the applicant is indisposed. Now, doesn't mean that the other 11 will not be able to make it, and they cannot go. Eric? Well, the first question is about the application. Yes, it is a one-off application. So procedurally, the computer will guide you all the way through. Is that right? Right. When one applies for the permit for the vehicle, you can enter the data about the driver as well as the passengers. All you need to do is to do it once. You don't have to log out and log in again for the other application. The second question, right? The principal applicant, if he is indisposed all of a sudden and he cannot go, what about the other 11 people? The other 12 people, will they go? Right? The answer is yes, because if you apply for 12 people, there will be 12 separate permits to be issued to individuals, and they can carry the individual permits. Now, whether the principal applicant is making the trip, it doesn't really matter. This 1 plus 12, that the applicant doesn't have any legal liability. Why 1 plus 12? Now, for these kind of applications, the behavior of the other 12 people will be linked with this principal applicant. Now, you must have some ideas, some rationale why 1 plus 12. There must be some liability attached to the principal applicant. No. They may know them, they may not know them. If this principal applicant doesn't turn up, and if the other 12 people broke the law in the closed area, will the principal applicant be held liable for the behavior? Thank you, Eric. Right. Thanks very much. And that's a really hard question. This service is intended to facilitate applications. Now, we allow a principal applicant to make the application for all the people. That's because there are some people, in particular those who are in senior years. Previously, they had to turn up at the police station to make the application physically. And this is wholly inconvenient to them. So we have come up with this idea to facilitate the applicants. The whole idea is to enable the applicant to make the application for family members and for their children and so on. Now, the member depicted a scenario that this is a situation that might happen. And there are clauses in the application, in the approval. And I mean, these will be shown up on the screen as you make the application. Now, this whole system is intended to facilitate the public. I'm sure that they will not abuse the system and do anything untoward. Mr. Jiming, when you talked about 1,300 in the quota, what about vehicles? Is there any quota? Eric. Well, for vehicles, now for this short-cock scheme, we do not allow vehicles. There is no such thing as traveling in vehicles. We allow the residents and also people or vehicles that have to go in for work in the system, so we don't need to have a quota for this. So simply put, when people go to the closed area, they just walk in, they cannot drive in, can they? Right, they cannot drive in. Right, any further questions? We're all curious. Right. What about the Sha-Tao-Kok residents? I hope that they will not be subject to too much nuisance. I know that this covers 4 hectares. How many residents are residing there? About 4,000, according to our information. Now, for North District and Sha Tao Kok area, we will be keeping an eye on the situation, and we do maintain close communication with the community people. We hope that there will be more visitors without affecting the residents. Well, the carrying capacity is something that we have to bear in mind. All right, let's move on to matters for information. 2 things. A, CAPO's monthly statistics. And B, CAPO's criminal and disciplinary checklist. I'd like to call upon the police to brief us on this, please. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. I'm going to report the statistics for the first 5 months. The CAPO has received 679 reportable complaints. That's down by 33 or 5% compared with 712 in the previous period. Now, for these 679 cases, 630 or 93% are of minor nature. That's marked in red. Neglect of duty, 330, 56%. Yellow portion, misconduct, 241 or 36%. Light blue, offensive language, 9 cases. Now the others are serious cases, 31 in grey of assault, 16 of unnecessary use of authority, fabrication of evidence and threat, 1 each. For the first 5 months, compared with the same period last year, UUA 380, down by 4, misconduct 241, down by 40, offensive language 9, down by 1, assault 31, up by 7. UUOA 16, up by 4, fabrication of evidence, same 1, threat, there is 1 case. Thank you. I'll let Joe finish. For the first 5 months, for the reportable cases endorsed, 643, light green, 290 cases, so 45%, they have been withdrawn. Yellow, 223, or 35%, are not pursuable. Grey, 74, or 12%, informal resolution. There are 14 cases that are not substantiated, indicated in purple. Blue shows no fault, 13 cases. Red indicates substantiated, 8. Orange, SORT, and we also have false, there are 6 cases.
Thank you. And Mr. Yek has something to report. And according to the classification of reportable cases, you can see that 31 on assault, and then it seems quite a lot. But according to our experience, that the substantial cases are really very minimal. And then, I think that the fact sets that it is not that serious. And we have to note also that the time lag is talking about 1 January and May, the first 5 months of this year. But the other is about the cases after investigation. And how are we going to actually to bridge this gap? And then so that we can actually improve the image of the police. Joe, could you respond to that? Yeah, we will consider, add some more statistics for people to understand these figures. Say, for example, for the assault, for the first 5 months, most of the complaints comes from the arrestee, and then and they are involved in the drugs and other serious violent cases, and then we, in the future, we will try to add this information to our report. Daniel, I would like to go back to one of the slides. It's about the withdrawal and then unsubstantiated the number. Well, this is about the January to May in the 2024 reportable complaints. No fault, there is 2%. And substantiated is 1%, substantiated without reporting is 2%, false is 1%. And it seems that no fault and substantiated without reporting, and seems that there's just that this is not that telling. Well, I just want to point out that this slide indicates the cases. Well, some cases, actual cases, are not substantiated, and some are in the category of no fault. And would that be a scenario that this PPT cannot show the no fault? And well, for substantiated, if there is one case that has one element that's substantiated that it will belong to this case, well, in fact, how we classified it is like this. Well, for a complaint, of course, there are different allegations. If we find one major allegation is substantiated, it will be counted as substantiated. Well, there are the major and minor allegations, and so we will count the major allegations, and we will go back and then review that. And then if there is a case that is assault, and then in that complaint we also look at other issues like whether they have enough documentation and recording on that case, etc. And so that we really would look into the actual cases so that this classification reflected the situation. I just want to add that, they asked about assault, and in my memory, there is no substantiated on assault, but in the previous case, about 9% are on the minor complaints. So if we just identify the major allegation, there might be some difficulties in doing so. And then say, for example, they have 6 allegations. Which one should be identified as the major allegation? Well, even if we have identified the major allegation, and then the other are classified as the no fault or that's not substantiated, then we cannot have a full picture of the complaints. I think that in the future, maybe next time, maybe you can classify according to the allegation and not to the case. And I think that the picture will be more accurate and to the reality. Yeah, noted. I think that this is workable, and we will review it, and then to see whether that we have a clearer picture of the complaints and then present it to IPCC. Well, Dennis is not saying that this is not the way to do it, but he's suggesting another way of showing the picture. and then we can have a better perspective on the complaints. And of course, right now that we are counting the numbers, and then it might not show the full picture of the complaints. Well, any other questions? If not, Joe, you have other reports, right? It's on the criminal and disciplinary checklist. About the criminal checklist, we have already submitted. I have no addition to this report. Any questions or any comments? If not, then we are now in AOB. If there is no AOB, then we will end this meeting. The next meeting will be on the 17th of September 2024. I hope to see you then. Thank you.